So the genesis of Millennium came from myself and our co-founder, Chris Baum. Both of us have been CEOs in a world that really valued achievement. And in an achievement-oriented world, what you get is more, faster, faster, faster. And unfortunately, that's resulted in a global culture today that leaves many people feeling a bit empty inside. Somewhere we seem to have skipped past wisdom and compassion and thinking about, is all this more actually better for people? And so Chris and I began to ask ourselves, well, where could we instill that sense of self-reflection? Our conclusion was that along the way, education had missed a couple of key pieces. Developmental psychologists today largely agree that early adolescence, the age from 11 to 14, is the single most formative period in any person's identity formation. So identity formation being my sense of who am I? What am I good at? What do I love? How can I contribute to the world? And we look at those questions of identity through three lenses. The first is the self, and the question we ask students is, who am I? Deeply, who am I? The second question is in relationship to others in the world. And so we ask, well, how do you plan to relate to other human beings? And hopefully the answer is with compassion, collaboratively, with empathy. And third, we want to provide an environment where they explore who they are relative to the world. And so we've created an entire educational model that explores those three questions. In addition to the knowledge and the facts and the skills they are learning around their academics, more importantly, we're giving them the context to explore these deeper questions.
We know a lot about middle school in terms of research and what adolescents need. In particular, there's 4 different developmental mindsets that really ground the needs of adolescents today. One is affiliative. We all want to relate to others. We want to make relationships.
I want to be authentically human with other humans in a way where we have equality and we support each other. Early adolescents in particular come into school with a mindset of security. Their motivation is to belong. Many school systems reflect that environment back to the students. They want you to conform. And what it does is it reinforces in the child's mind, oh, this is the way the world is. What's important is that I conform and I fit in and I belong and I feel safe. We've tried to create an environment that makes a child feel safe, but invites them to expand beyond that mindset.
There is a third mindset, which is about achievement.
If your environmental system overly rewards achievement, that becomes your definition of success, as opposed to, I feel worthy just for who I am.
There's a authenticity mindset. You want to be yourself, right? A good middle school is a place that allows students to have a lot of voice, allows for diversity to be celebrated.
So at Millennium, we aspire to create a holistic educational ecosystem that allows students to integrate all 4 of those mindsets into their whole greatest potential.
Millennium's unique weekly structure is different from any other school you've probably seen. First of all, it's important that students have a grounding in both STEM and humanities because basically any of the big questions that exist in our society kind of fall in those categories. And we really do a lot of work that's interdisciplinary. So maybe a traditional school might have language arts, history, social studies, math, science. We really try to integrate that because that's what real jobs in the field integrate all of those skills. The other thing is our academic calendar is different. So instead of semesters or quarters, we actually have these terms. So there are 6 or 7 weeks and where students go deep into a quest and they explore a question and they have a project culmination with a real world audience. And then we have a week where it's called an intersession. So we have a week where we do something different. And then they're ready and refreshed to start the next term. We also have a whole day set aside for social and emotional learning and experiential learning out in the real world. So we've partnered with adults in the community where a student might go and learn how to create an app over several weeks on Wednesday afternoons. Other times we'll go and learn about how government works. So we might go to City Hall or go to a courtroom. So basically, the whole goal behind Wednesdays is to get students out in the real world, experience what adults actually do in the real world, and yeah, get out of the classroom. We start every Wednesday with a grade level council. So grade level council is sort of a place where we explore the social emotional learning aspect of the school. So we'll have a council on a different topic each week. But then after that, we meet in our forum. So a forum is a small group of somewhere between 9 to 11 students. They're together for the whole 3 years with an advisor. And so that forum time is to go deeper into the subject. So maybe the subject is about bullying, right? And so we explore that as a whole grade, and then in that group of their trusted peers and their trusted advisor, they can really start to reveal personal experiences and get support from the group. Along the way, we also teach them skills like communication and mindfulness and conflict resolution and just getting in touch with your inner self and like, who am I? The things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily see in an academic classroom, but we believe is really important, particularly for young adolescents.
One of the aspects that makes us stand out is our educators. They're all passionate about middle school, not just in the academic sense, but in the social emotional sense. So when we recruit and look for teachers, we want to find teachers that are passionate about their subject areas, but also teachers that are passionate about shaping youth and creating that special environment that allows students to flourish.
I feel like what our mindfulness program and what our practice is about is encouraging students to slow down and to get to a place of stillness where they can start to feel some of what's happening inside of them, start to notice some of what might be, moving around too quickly in their brains. And I feel like with that practice of slowness and stillness, we gradually get to a place where we can tap into that and use that as a tool in classes, in forum, in just about everything we do.
At Millennium, we use the word guide to refer to our teachers because we feel that we don't hold all the knowledge, that we are simply guiding our students towards their own understanding of the world. A middle schooler is exploring themselves, their hormones for the first time. They're experiencing new feelings. They're having crushes. They're falling out with their friends. And in their advisory, in their forum, they're able to come together and talk about it and have people really listen to what they're saying. And our students feel seen.
We really try to connect with our kids. We really try to find out what's going on with them in all aspects of their lives. And I've seen my advisees really open up, really take advantage of the connections that we have forged over the past 2 years, and really try to use that to make themselves better students and better people.
I help families explore their options in the public, charter, and private school world so that their student can land somewhere that will really prepare them for college and beyond. In talking with high school admissions directors, it seems like the Millennium School students who are leaving the school and moving on to high schools are described as empathetic, kind, self-aware learners. Millennium School students have been described as students who are not afraid to take risks educationally, and students who enjoy being involved in their community.
I feel like Millennium aided in my growth in 2 major ways. One, by making me a kinder person, definitely, and like someone who is more willing to listen. When I get in an argument with someone, before I say, oh, no, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm like, why do you think that? And I want to understand why you think that, and then go from there. And the second way is by making me a calmer person and giving me a good morning routine. We did this thing called morning meeting, and we started every morning meeting by doing 3 minutes of mindfulness. And it was really great. It was like a nice way to start the day. And to this day, ever since I graduated from Millennium, I have my little Zafu, and I have it in my room, and I do mindfulness. And I'm like, whew, I'm relaxed. And now I get to do the day.
I have never worked at a place where I feel so connected to the people I work with and the kids I work with. I've never worked in a place where I felt so supported seen and loved. We are one big family.
My relationship with some parents feels more of like a friendship, which I really appreciate, and that's what makes it great about working at the school. Is it's more than just a school. It's a very robust community.
Something that I love to bring is the richness of my culture, and I like to bring it to the classroom, from the music to the food to the experiences, and students are very intrigued by that. Learning about the Spanish culture, students are able to develop an inclusive worldview.
We have a big emphasis on curiosity and exploration and being patient with yourself as you're learning the best way that you can find your voice in a creative medium. It really encourages everybody in this community to be their authentic self, and I really appreciate the focus on anti-racist work. It's very important to me to make sure that we're building a better future and working with these middle schoolers to understand their role in society.
We focus on what we call JEDI, Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And that grounds really all our programs. We're fully committed to being an anti-racist organization. We work hard to recruit and retain students from diverse backgrounds. We want to make sure that everyone feels included, that we respect and celebrate diversity as a pillar of academic excellence.
It's really necessary that we are doing the work to look in ourselves and in each other in our community to root out racism, homophobia, and all forms of discrimination. It's really important that our students understand their own identities. It's important that they understand how they can show up and fight for other people. It's important that we as faculty understand our students, whether we have a different racial background, if we have a different gender background, if we have a different sexuality than our students. It's really important that we can still understand them, empathize with them, and create a community where everybody is aware and attentive to the needs of everyone else in the community.
Our school is more than a school. It's really a community. It's more like a family. I know my students really well. I know their families, I know their parents, their siblings, I know what pets they have. And that's not unique to me. They also know that about each other. And so it just goes beyond just the walls of this building and just the experiences we have in the classroom. It's almost like once you're part of our family, you're always in our family.
There are a lot of schools to choose from. There are a lot of progressive programs, but it's not an understatement to say that Millennium is a one of a kind.
Yes, come to Millennium, it's great.